it's unfortunate, the whole process of it should have been done differently.
Advocates are calling for residential school records to be re-examined before they're destroyed forever. Advocates say these records contain information about the deaths and disappearances of children who were forced to attend these schools. Out of the thousands who detailed abuses they suffered at residential schools, only 28 have requested copies of their testimonies to be archived. The documents set to be destroyed beginning September 20th unless a survivor opts to obtain a copy and share it with the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation in Winnipeg. Residential school survivor Geraldine Shingoose is among the small group that has allowed her story to be archived.
Our people need to carry on those stories, but it also shares that true history of what happened here in Canada.
In 2017, the Supreme Court upheld a decision that for confidentiality purposes, the records should be destroyed unless the individual chooses otherwise. Shingoose says it's heartbreaking to think that thousands of testimonies could be destroyed.
Probably some of the survivors don't know or are aware, they could access their records, and it's their choice.
A spokesperson from the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation says they hope survivors put their trust in them to preserve the archives, but know it's a personal decision. An estimated 150,000 Indigenous children were forced to attend residential schools over a century in Canada. 60s Scoop Legacy of Canada Director Catherine Strongwind says these stories are part of Canada's legacy and history, something that, in her opinion, cannot be destroyed.
It should, in my view, should become part of our education curriculum and the curriculum of newcomers and all these educational opportunities.
Earlier this year, the Manitoba government signed an agreement to grant public access to death certificates of Indigenous children who died at residential schools. Advocate Kyle Mason says this process is very delicate.
For someone who's been raised his entire life to respect the wishes of the elders and the survivors, I have to follow their wishes, but I personally do hope that we don't lose these stories and because they're very important.
Shingoose, who attended residential school for 9 years, says it's important to share and preserve the tragic history that impacted so many people.
That history can't be forgotten. Our history can't be forgotten. We survived that genocide of what happened to us in residential school.
In Winnipeg, Alex Karpa, City News.